Hi, everybody. This is Dr. Harmon. As I can see from my microphone, I've got sound, and I'm going to do the screencast I promised you that I would do today. And those of you who were remote, you did get to see a little bit of the screencast, but I'm going to redo the whole thing so that everybody has this first screencast to look at. So basically, this is we had the technical glitch there yesterday, and basically here's what happened. The university Wi-Fi is a little bit spotty over there in Bailey, and I didn't connect in through the Ethernet, so I lost connectivity, and so basically I have about 12 or 15 minutes of recording, and that's no good because the class is 50 minutes. So I'm going to redo that session so that everybody can see it. And for those of you who were there, there will be some additional insights as well. I want to really do two or three things here. The first, obviously, is I want to acquaint you or reacquaint you with navigating through Canvas. That is the course. If you have work to upload, it needs to be uploaded in Canvas. Don't send it to me in an email, okay? If you want to know what assignments are due, it's all listed in Canvas. Everything is here, the exams, the places to upload work, the files that you need, etc. So I want to talk about that. But before we get into that, I just want to mention the textbooks for the course, all right? And so I'm going to click on, I'm going to do a new tab here, and I'm going to go to Amazon. And I'm going to put in an introduction to management science. Science, 13, Quantitative Approaches, the 13th edition. This is your textbook. Okay, this is the Anderson text. Now, there's another text, and that's Data Smart. And here it is. And this is a young guy. You see there's a thing for his webpage. He is the CIO for MailChimp, which is a company that provides filtering and email protection services for company. And you've heard people talk about big data. You might have heard me talk about unstructured data. We're going to see how we can use some techniques to work with big data. And you're going to find it a very interesting set of cases that we'll look at. And I also believe that he has some good things to say to us about, reinforce to us about using data to our advantage to help build our company's sustainability. Well, I'm going to close that off because you've seen those. You should have those two textbooks. And let me say this, please, every time we have class, or if you sit down to watch a screencast, okay, please, please, please have your textbook with you, okay? Please do. The simple reason is this. First of all, you pay a lot of money for these textbooks. I don't take that lightly, but I want you to have the best textbook possible. And it's a way for me to relate what's in the book to what we're talking about, so I can explain or amplify on what's already there in the textbook, okay? So do that. Now, the first stop for us is over in the home area, and this will show us the whole course, how it's laid out in terms of modules, okay? And let's click on here for just a minute into the thing called modules. Let's click on announcements. We'll do that. And what you're going to find, for example, here is a link for tomorrow, January the 30th, the virtual office hours. Okay. Then also on, today, January 30th. And I have these posted in every class I take. They're posted also on my door. I said I have virtual office hours. And what I do is I go to Zoom, I set up a virtual room like this, and you can come in and ask me questions or you have problems, whatever. If you want, you can chat. Nobody can see it but me and you. I can share my screen. You can hear me. I can hear you. So it's a fantastic tool. So if you look at the door of go to the door of my office there at Bailey, 236, you're going to see my office hours. Okay, they're pinned up on that bulletin board. You'll see I have office hours on Monday, office hours on Thursday. Okay, those are the 2 days I'm in Shawnee, and then office hours on Tuesday and Wednesday. And for today, Tuesday the 30th, I'm going to have office hours from 2 o'clock in the afternoon till 5:30. And I have the link for you when you want when I have those office hours. Let me say something of this. Virtual office hours, I can do anything and everything I would do if you came into my office and I'm sitting there, okay? And here's one of the ways that I'm really trying to do a couple of things. First of all, as a faculty member, there are expectations for me to stay current in my field. And one of the ways I do is I work with companies. So I'm over here in Oklahoma City on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then especially on Fridays, working with churches, usually churches now, but other firms, okay, as well as doing some research. So you can feel assured that you're working with a person who's an expert in the field. Okay. The other is a way I integrate faith with my teaching is I reduce my carbon footprint by not driving between Oklahoma City and Shawnee. Okay, I save 64 trips. Okay. At 40 miles a trip, you can do the math. You can figure out how many gallons of gas that I save, how much I save in a carbon emission. And so I use this as a way to help reduce my carbon footprint, to be a good administrator of the earth I've been given by the Lord to oversee. Okay. I also do as I talk about scheduling. Many of you can't make it on it. Many of you have an athletic contest you have to go to, or whatever, or you're sick or something like that. That's why I do the screencasts, because once the screencast is saved and I post it over there in the announcements, it's there for you to see. So you can look at it, you can replay it or fast forward. It's just basically I created a YouTube video for all intents and purposes, okay? And because I have everything, all the exams are online, your assignment, everything is over here. If you miss a class, you don't have to panic. I had 2 or 3 people yesterday who could not make it to our first class session. They sent me an email. I said, don't worry about it. There will be a recording of it, and you can use it. There are going to be some people who will want to just simply follow the live screencast. So beam in when I'm doing the class and doing the recording real time. Maybe they're sick. Who knows? I know that many of you are athletes and you work, and you have to be at practice. So I've tried to design my courses, okay, to give you the maximum amount of convenience to allow you, if you want, which I think is smart, to work ahead to make sure that you don't miss anything from class. Okay. So, and we talked about a lot of this yesterday. So I'm covering some new. I'm not covering any new territory. Let's click on the files. This is where you're going to find literally all of the files that we use in the course, or files that are used in modules or keys. And what I'm going to do is each week I'm going to do a case. Each week I'm going to say, okay, here's a case that's due. Okay, and then I'm going to show you how I solved it. Okay, and we'll talk about it. I want you to understand this. All right, and so we're gonna look at that. Now, also the modules, that part, that's pretty simple. We've talked about that. You're going to see a section called quizzes. That's not cooperating. Let's go quizzes. Here are the quizzes. If you want to know how, the exams, Canvas divides stuff into quizzes and assignments. These are all of the tests, exams that you have. Then they have a section over here called assignments. This is stuff that you upload into Canvas. Okay? Now, if you want to see everything that's due together on a weekly basis, here you are. Okay? And that's basically how you navigate through it. And I'll show you how many points there are typically and what it's over, that type of thing. Okay? Now, let's talk some for a few minutes about your textbooks. First of all, when you went over to Amazon, you saw how much this text, the Anderson text goes for. It ain't cheap. Okay? Now, granted, you can take that textbook and trade it in. Okay? I'm going to the 14th edition in fall. I'll go to the newer edition of this textbook, and I guarantee it won't be cheaper. It'll be more money. If you're going to pay that money for textbooks, use them. Okay? The best way to get everything out of this course that you ought to get is to follow along with me in the textbook. So if you come to the physical class on Monday, or if you watch the screencast, whether you're watching it live as it's happening, or you look at it later, have your textbook open, have it with you. Do yourself, because you're going to find I'm going to do that. I'm going to talk about it. Your textbook is going to, I'm going to show key passages and talk about them and so forth. I want to talk a little bit for a moment about management science. What do we mean by management science? Well, management science is an approach that grew out of a lot of the necessities, especially the logistical problems of the Second World War, in which we had to move enormous amounts of people, materials, and things all over the world. Okay? And we're going to see that this approach, we try to optimize. We try to do the best we can with what we've been given, be it money, be it time, locations, etc. And you're going to find that this approach works with just about every business problem you can imagine. Okay? So I don't care what your major is, you're going to see a case study that go, oh. Now, part of this is a process whereby we do some things. First, we identify the objective function. What is it we want to do? Do we want to minimize something, for example, like cost? Do we want to maximize something like, for example, revenue? Do I have a target value that I want to achieve? Okay, so that's important. Then I say, okay, what are my constraints? And I set up my constraints. Then the third step is I go through the process of saying, okay, is this a simplex LP model where I assumed kind of a linear trend? Is it a GRG nonlinear, or like maybe a concave or convex? Okay, it looks like an umbrella, or it looks like a cup. Or am I looking at something evolutionary? We're not sure. Okay, we're just trying to kind of figure out the best solution, and we may never hit an optimal solution. And we're going to see this over and over again. And you're going to get to a point where you'll be very comfortable using Solver and doing optimization. And you'll be able to say to an employer, yeah, I understand about how those work. I can do that. Okay? And we're going to talk about the data sources. Where do I get the data? And the issues surrounding what I put into Solver. Now, yesterday, and we'll reinforce this again next Monday, working there in Bailey Lab, okay, to get to the applications, you have to go through VMware, and we went through that okay? Then if Excel's not loaded on the machine, you have to click on File, then go to Add-ins, pardon me, go to Options, and then go to Add-ins. I can't remember which one. And then if Excel Solver and the data pack are not active, you click on them. You click on them, you click Go, and then you get a dialog box. You add them, and they're there. And then you click on Data in the tab, Excel tab, okay, and you'll see that they've been added. All right, so you'll want to go through that. You may have Excel on your computer. If you view this thing, let me say this: don't just view it on a phone. Also look at it off of a computer or tablet. You have the Bailey Lab, and you'll be able to see. You can't take this phone course with an iPhone, so don't try to do it, okay? If you have a Mac, understand you're probably going to have some limitations, so you might as well be ready to work in the lab at some point to get work done, okay? We talked some that'll kind of get you going. And tomorrow, Wednesday, when I do the virtual class session, we'll go through a case. We'll talk about it. Now, the textbook in Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 talk about this whole idea of a model, all right? We have different ways we can build a model. And management science says, okay, if I'm trying to solve a problem, or I'm trying to get something accomplished, I want to build a model. So the first thing I do is I create what we call the objective function. What is it I want? I want to minimize, maximize, or I want to hit a target value. Okay? So I build a model, and that can be a mathematical model. It can be a schematic, like a blueprint of a house, or it can be what we call an iconic model, like a scale replica of a driverless car, or we actually build the driverless car and then we test it. But we use a model to guide us to take that issue or problem and try to work our way through it. When you think like that, you'll start to think like a business owner, okay? Business owners, entrepreneurs have a knack for seeing things below the surface. And this whole idea of thinking, how do I get the most out of what I've got, okay, is entrepreneurial in its focus, but it also works in just about any setting. And you're going to see we can use this approach in just about anything. Okay? Now, the other, Chapter 2, chapters 1 and 2, introduce us to that concept, okay? And we're going to see it as it works itself through. Well, I've gone about 25 minutes based upon what we did. And so we've looked at the textbook. We've talked some about the chapters and what's in Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, the intro, and then the second chapter as we move in. We've talked some about navigating Canvas and working with it, okay? And some of my policies, my late policies, they're all, just about any question you have about the courses, you're going to find it in Canvas. Okay, so before you email me, look around in there and you'll probably find it. The other and most important thing I want to speak with you about is how important this course is for you. Okay, management science is the type of course that should help you learn how to discipline your brain. Okay, and hopefully, as you study these, you'll ask yourself, how is it that we can master logistical problems? How is it that we can get stuff from point A to point B? And this course is just an introduction to management science, okay, or operations research or operations science. There are master's degrees out there. I think some of you would be smart to take a look at them. Yes, they're quantitatively oriented, okay? And we're going to see some of the underlying mathematics or underlying the math that underlies some of the models that we use, okay? But we're going to focus on how did I get the data, making the decision, how do I understand, how do I interpret, okay? And we're going to spend a lot of time doing that. Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We spent time together yesterday, Monday the 29th, in our physical class. A bunch of you there, practically all of you, had 2 or 3 people who beamed in, who were there for a while. I looked, I found and so I think what I'm going to do is say, okay, I think I've covered everything, you know, that we need to do in this introductory section. So I'm going to cut off. We've been going, I think, about 20, maybe 25 minutes. And I don't believe that I need to beat it any more into the ground than what we've done already. Okay? So let's go back to the modules for just a moment. Well, before I do that, I want to talk about one other thing. Participation in the course. Because this course is online and is in a learning management system, I can track your participation. I'm going to click on people. Okay, I did this yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm going to come down and find Keith Harmon. Okay, and it's going to see some more. I click more user details. Okay, okay, and I'm going to do my access report. When did I come into the course? What did I do? Okay, and the times I viewed, participation. Now, when I click on any one of the rest of you, all right, and I'm just going to do that. I'll go back over to the people. And I'm going to pick on somebody real quickly. I can click on the thing and it will give me user details and it'll give me analytics. Okay? And those analytics tell me everything about what's going on and what you've done. As you can see, just right here, the last activity. And I can get a whole report of that. And so, folks, I know what's going on. Okay. Now, here are all these course resources. I've got this getting started. We've talked about that. Okay. And then module 0, which was yesterday, and then Wednesday the 31st, and then Friday the 2nd. Again, we have a physical class on Monday. We have I live stream a screencast on Wednesday, okay? And then on Friday, it's a virtual lab day where you're working, because I have this stuff usually set up to be due on Fridays, okay? So I wanted you to go through and prepare for Module 1 by reviewing the Microsoft Excel resources. Here's some resources here about Excel, okay? I've got some more resources up here. Here's the optimization, a PDF that talks about how to use the Solver 2 in Excel. It's a YouTube, and I truly, truly want you to go through and review that stuff so you kind of have a good feeling as we start to work through the course. All right. Well, we're 26 minutes in, and again, I think I've shared with you about all you need, and you can replay this if there's stuff that I covered. Again, I want to encourage you to have an open mind about this course. And as we go through these problems, I want to encourage you to say to yourself, when you go into eat at a fast food place, or you go to Walmart, how do they use management science tools, okay, to sustain their firm, to have their business proposition, okay? And I think you're going to find one of the reasons I love teaching business is because there are some universal things. You know, I teach the business problem analysis course, okay? And in that course, we take some common problems that all businesses face, and we find a way to express them, to build we learn about using software, Excel and Access, so that we can try to collect some data and put it into a form that we can see and understand, so we can make a decision. Okay, it's the same process here, but we think now at a little different model level, because we say, what's my model? Okay, and there's so many different businesses and so many industries, but what you'll find is these universal kinds of things, and that's the stuff that makes this fascinating. And I hope you'll get that in your head and start to look around and say, why do people shop here? What is it that they offer them that they can't get somewhere else? And it can range from everything to location to a product that's offered, or they can get it to me faster. And so we're going to see that as we work through. Folks, it's been 28 minutes. And I think based on what we did yesterday in class, and we talked about there, and most of you are there, but the 2 or 3 of you weren't, have gotten pretty much what we covered anyway. I'm going to go ahead and stop this share and then end the recording, and I'll post it over here in the announcements after I convert it to a YouTube video. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow, which will be the 31st, seeing you in quotes. I'm going to be doing the live screencast, okay, for the course, and we'll go and we'll take a look again at working with Solver, and we'll work on the Nolan Plastics case, all right, and we'll cover some more stuff there in the chapters. One final thing before I finish up: your book, your textbook, goes up to 16 chapters. This is the Anderson text. The other chapters are in PDF form, and I have them here for you. Okay, so when we get into chapters 17, 18, 19, 21, they're in PDF form. This is the way that the authors are really pushing things. And next semester, my plan is to encourage people to use online books as much as possible. If you've had some other courses where your instructors are using courses online, books online, you're really getting an advantage, because when you have that, you can do so many more things. You can search much easier. But the cool thing is you can access your textbook from anywhere you want. You don't have to lug the thing around. Okay, and so there's some great advantages to that. Well, again, I hope you can see that I'm excited about this course. I'm excited about the skill levels that it can provide you, the mindset and the approach it can give you. Okay, and all I can tell you is I've learned from experience how valuable this is. All right. I've had some professional experiences. I can tell you that these techniques and these tools are of great importance and great usefulness. Folks, God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow, quotes, online when I do the virtual when I do the screencast. And I hope you'll start to take a look at these Excel resources and get ready to go. Again, God bless you. Have a good day, and I'm looking forward to seeing us go through this course and learn a lot about these tools that we can use to make people's lives better and serve our Lord by doing so. That is an important thing. I don't care if you serve, if you do it through getting a book to them on time, or a good meal, or their tire gets fixed. Those humble tasks, when you're serving the needs of other people, are the kinds of things that our Lord loves to see us do. It's a way for us to wash the feet of others. When our Lord, at the Last Supper, he washed his disciples' feet. He healed people. He fed people. He dealt with them where they were with their needs in this real world. And that's the wonderful thing about our Lord. He's eminently practical. And so when he sees you being a good employee, when he sees you using your business skills to make the lives of other people better, not just to make money, but to serve them, to make their lives better and happier, you have built your ministry. Remember, he said to his disciples, anyone who's given a cup of water in my name has given it to me. So as business people, as Christian business people, we have a great opportunity to serve people and to be a witness to other people. So at the bottom line, this is just not about being a successful person. It's about being a godly person who serves others and uses these tools, these things that have all been given to us by the Lord. James says all good things come from above. Folks, I'm about feeling like I ought to take up an offering, but I can't. So I'll end it with that. And I'm so looking forward to seeing you in class, having class with you, because so many of you are so bright. And I'm excited about and hopeful that you will see these as tools. And some of you in the future are really going to go forward and apply these in some industries, particularly industries like logistics, that are key places. Thank you so much. God bless you. I'm going to stop the share and recording, and I'll post this. I'll convert it to a YouTube video and then post it in the announcements. And this will be our catch-up session.